Yes, my people, welcome back to another video and welcome back to the Glory Hunter Challenge, where today it is a single live comp as we face Newcastle United in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Now, all of our draws for the two competitions we can win this season and need to win for the Glory Hunter Challenge have been drawn, as we have Newcastle in the 5th round of the FA Cup, which is what we will be playing today. Now, I do believe that this video is going up at 1 a.m. and it is. Yes, this video is going up at 1 a.m. So, today, 1 a.m, when this video goes live, will be Newcastle. And then the normal daily 9 p.m. video will be the Europa League round of 16, first and second leg, where we try and take on Nice to hopefully book our way into the Europa League quarter final. Now, today, since we were last here, we've faced off against Portsmouth and narrowly got through, and that is why we are facing against Newcastle here today. We then faced off against Leeds, where we picked up a 3-1 win at home. We're on a really good run in the Premier League so far. I don't know the exact numbers, but there's quite a lot of games won in a row where we are playing really well. As Digne goes back to Pau Torres, and as I said, Harvey Elliott did score the opener in this one, as Cash gets the ball out of his feet, goes down the line to Morgan Rogers. Rogers goes back to Cash, who plays it into Harvey Elliott, and Harvey Elliott finds the back of the net to make it 1-0 to the Villains at home against Leeds here. Ollie Watkins did pick up an injury in this one, so Gesand came on, the hero in the last episode, and he got himself a brace as it is headed away. But Jadon Sancho is there to find Harvey Elliott. Yuri Tielemans finds Konsa, who finds Matty Cash, who plays a good ball through into Gesand, who blasts it past Lucas Perry in the Leeds goal to make it 2-0 to Villa here. Gesand then got himself a second through a Yuri Tielemans assist, who is leaving on a free at the end of his contract, which makes that 90 million bid that I cancelled really fucking annoying. As anyway, Gesand gets dispossessed, unfortunately, and Jaden Bogle then driving in, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, as Martinez goes out to Digne, finds Harvey Elliott, who finds Jadon Sancho. Yuri Tielemans plays a good ball over the top to Gesand, who with a really good touch round the goalkeeper to make it 3-0. And Calvert-Lewin did get himself a goal back for Leeds in that one. As then we played against Wolves and picked up a 3-2 win, as Strand Larsen opened the scoring here in this one. Wolves down towards the bottom, so good to get an away win against the team fighting for their lives. As Arias goes back to João Gomez, Hwang Hee-chan finds Strand Larsen, and Strand Larsen is there to tap home to give Aston Villa an early semi-mountain to climb, being 1-0 down so early on. But almost immediately, Yuri Tielemans equalised for Aston Villa 4 minutes later, as Matty Cash finds Morgan Rogers, who finds Gesand. Tielemans with a good ball out to Digne, and it's cleared but only as far as Yuri Tielemans, who on the volley smashes it into the goal to make it 1-1. He will be a big loss, and I'm going to try and sell him in the summer, I think, to try and get a little bit of money. 2 minutes later, Harvey Elliott made it 2 and picked up his goal, a goal in back-to-back games, as Matty Cash beats his man and goes back to Rodgers, who gives it to Elliott, and Harvey Elliott smashes it past Jose Sarr to make it 2-1. We then doubled our lead as Yuri Tielemans scores from the spot to make it 3-1 and grab himself his second goal of the game. Now, the best game of all was our 6-1 demolition of Chelsea, as Ollie Watkins, back from injury, picked up himself a hat-trick here as he opened the scoring from a Digne assist. Ollie Watkins having a really good season. I believe he might be past 20 Premier League goals now for the first time in his career, as it comes from a Chelsea throw, as Harvey Elliott finds Matty Cash, who cuts inside nicely, and Elliott plays that switch over to Digne, as Tielemans gives it back to Digne, and Digne finds Ollie Watkins at the front post to tap home to make it 1-0. Chelsea up there fighting with us for Europe, so to defeat them in the way that we did was a really good result. Morgan Rodgers then made it 2 shortly after Ollie Watkins' opener and first of the game, as Torres plays a good ball out to Cash. Torres filling in for Sancho this game, just trying to rotate them as Sancho's having a good year, but Torres is ultimately our player, as Cash does really well to find Morgan Rodgers at the front post. Morgan Rodgers having a really good season as well. Same with Ollie Watkins. Harvey Elliott then gets himself another goal to make it 3 in a row for Harvey Elliott, as it starts with a Chelsea corner, as Wesley Fofana goes back to Benwai Badiashile, and Chelsea just trying to keep hold of the ball here, but ultimately Pedro Neto is dispossessed by Lucas Digne. As Digne finds Yuri Tielemans, who finds Torres, who ghosts past Reece James really nicely, not once, not twice, but 3 times, as Torres calls it back to Harvey Elliott, and he makes it 3-0 to Aston Villa against the Blues of Chelsea. Ollie Watkins then gets himself his second of the half, with Morgan Rodgers grabbing himself an assist to go with his goal, as Watkins plays it to Rodgers. Matty Cash finds Kamara, who finds Morgan Rodgers. Morgan Rodgers pulling it back to Watkins, who fires it past Jorgensen to make it 4-0 in this one. Ollie Watkins then grabs himself his hat-trick just before the half-time. What the fuck am I going on about? Just before half-time, and Morgan Rodgers getting himself his second assist in this one. That makes it 3 goal involvements for Morgan Rodgers as well, as Morgan Rodgers gives it to Matty Cash. Them two linking up really well this season. Harvey Elliott finds Morgan Rodgers, and it's a carbon copy of the second goal, as Ollie Watkins makes it 5 and gets himself a hat-trick here today. Harvey Elliott then gets himself a goal just after half-time to make it a brace for Harvey Elliott and make it 4 goals in his last 3 games, as Cash finds Elliott, the goal scorer, who finds Morgan Rodgers and then gives it back to Harvey Elliott, who plays a good ball out to Torres. Tielemans, it's a really fluid... What am I going on about? It's a really fluid counter-attack here by Aston Villa, as Digne finds Tielemans, who plays a good ball into Torres, who pulls it back to Harvey Elliott. Torres credited with an assist there. I'm not so sure if we can give it to him. But that is all that she wrote for that game. Just confirmation, that puts us third in the Premier League with 9 games to go. We find ourselves 11 points ahead of 5th and now 13 points ahead of 7th. So we are looking good for the Europa League and looking really good for the Champions League. So without further ado, let's get into this massive FA Cup tie as we face on Newcastle and see how both teams will be lining up for it. Okay then, here we have both the lineups for this FA Cup 5th round tie. Nick Pope is in goal for Newcastle. It looks like they've kind of gone not full strength, which is interesting. They've gone with Harrison Ashby, Fabian Schär, Botman and Kieran Trippier is their back 4. Joe Willock, Lewis Miley and Tonali is their midfield 3. Jacob Ramsey starting on the left, Voltemada starting on the right, and Guirassy leading the line. We have gone with Martinez in goal, a back 4 of Matty Cash, Concert, Pau Torres and Digne, a midfield 3 of Kamara, Tielemans and Harvey Elliott. Morgan Rogers starts on the right. Facundo Torres keeps his place after 2 assists against Chelsea. And Ollie Watkins, of course, leads the line, following on from his hat-trick at Chelsea. Now, obviously, we want revenge for exactly that. We want revenge for being dumped out of the Carabao Cup by Newcastle. So hopefully, we can get it here today, as we are away. But you never know. As Ollie Watkins gets us underway for this FA Cup 5th round tie, as obviously Newcastle did defeat Manchester City in the 3rd round, as Middlesbrough have West Ham. Man United Bournemouth is a decent one. Hopefully we can get ourselves through to the FA Cup quarter final and keep the dreams alive of maybe winning ourselves a trophy in the first season. As Willock goes in to Lewis Miley and switches it out to Kieran Trippier, who finds Jacob Ramsey, ex-Aston Villa, finds Guirassy and forces a good save out of Emi Martinez there. As Man United find themselves 1-0 up against Bournemouth. Matty Cash finding Morgan Rogers, but is dispossessed by Botman. Jacob Ramsey now finding Guirassy. Guirassy cutting inside well for Newcastle here. Still going is Guirassy. He tries to find Voltemada, and it's off the bar. As Guirassy is offside from the follow-up. And it has been all Newcastle here so far today, as Kamara switches it out to Digne. Facundo Torres now, trying to cut inside, but it's a really good tackle from Harrison Ashby. Guirassy plays a good ball through to Ramsey, who keeps it in and tries to find Voltemada at the back post. But it is a goal kick to Villa. 20 minutes into this one, and Villa are still yet to have a shot, which is disappointing. But it is still 0-0, as we do now have our first shot of the game. As it has not been the most exciting first half here. As we are approaching the end of the first half, but it is a free kick to Aston Villa. Digne to take. Can he find a claret head? It's headed away by Ashby, but only as far as Torres. Torres trying to find Watkins, but it is out for an Aston Villa corner. Will we get to see the corner? We won't, unfortunately. as that is the end of the first half here at St James's Park. Newcastle 0, Aston Villa 0, as we go into the half. Level and the deadlock yet to be broken, as we need people to dig in and try to get us through to that quarter-final, as Voltemada gets Newcastle underway. I have no idea why the cheers are so loud, as Dan Burn comes on for Trippier and Murphy on for Garassi, as we are going to go slightly more attacking, as we are yet to create anything here, as Tonali finds Cher at the back. Dan Burn now just come on for Trippier. Jacob Ramsey trying to beat Matty Cash. He puts a ball in the middle and Martinez comes but can't get there, and Jacob Murphy makes it 1-0 to Newcastle. Newcastle, it's our third live come against them so far in this save, and we are yet to beat them, as Martinez comes, and Martinez does miss the ball there, unfortunately, as Ollie Watkins gets us underway from that goal. Torres cutting in, finding Tielemans, who finds Morgan Rogers. Morgan Rogers looked offside to me, as it drops to Ollie Watkins, and it is out for an Aston Villa corner. Will we get to see this one? We will. Digne to take. It's a decent delivery, and it finds Pau Torres, and it comes back to Ollie Watkins, and it said it hit the post there, as Voltemada trying to beat Torres but can't, as Torres finds Digne, coming back inside to Tielemans. Kamara, the switch is on if you can find Matty Cash, as Konsa finds Matty Cash. Matty Cash finds Harvey Elliott, who goes back to Cash and goes back to Elliott again. Elliott finds Kamara at the edge of the area and forces a save out of Nick Pope there. Demand more. That is our first shot on target that we have had 60 minutes in. That's Ollie Watkins not having a great game here. We're going to bring on the hero from the last round, Gesand. Matty Cash is struggling a little bit, as is Digne. So bring on Ian Matson and Garcia as well. Morgan Rogers not having a great game here. Bring Daniel Marlon on, which leaves one more substitution that we can make, as I'm going to bring Jadon Sancho on for Torres as we approach the final 25 minutes here. Nick Pope with the goal kick out of his hands, looking for Lewis Miley, but Harvey Elliott is there, only as far as Visser though. Visser finds Lewis Miley, who dinks it into the middle, away by Matson, but only as far as Ashby, who finds Voltemada, and it's just over the bar from the big German, as we are into another corner for Aston Villa. Jadon Sancho to take. It's a good delivery, finds Pau Torres, who finds Konsa at the back post, and Ezri Konsa gets the equaliser for Aston Villa. You have to say, those corners looked like they could be a threat. It's a good delivery. Pau Torres heads to the back post, and Konsa, unlike Watkins in the first half, puts it in to make it 1-0. As Voltemada gets us underway immediately from the restart. As Visser dancing past the Aston Villa defenders. Lewis Miley tackled by Elliott, but Lewis Miley still has the ball. Harvey Elliott defending really well. Really well there. As Gesand dispossessed by Tonali, unfortunately. As Joe Willock now finds Tonali, plays a switch out to Harrison Ashby. Cher now goes into Willock. Ashby finds Jacob Murphy. As Tonali goes into Willock. Jacob Murphy cutting inside and doing really well for Newcastle. but it is an easy save in the end for Martinez there. And he rolls it out and gets Villa going quickly. As we are into the final 15 minutes here of this FA Cup tie. Man United winning 5-0 against Bournemouth. Middlesbrough beating West Ham 3-0. As we are into the final 5 minutes of normal time here. Three minutes to go of injury time. As Concert with the free kick for Aston Villa. Goes short to Garcia, who finds Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott with a good switch out to Jadon Sancho. If Sancho can get there, he can. Sancho cutting inside, doing really well. Finds Harvey Elliott. And Harvey Elliott at the death makes it 2-1 to Aston Villa. And could that be the goal to send us to the quarter-final? It's a really good turn from Jadon Sancho to then find Harvey Elliott, who slots it in and I believe makes it 5 goals in his last 4 games. As we now are into the final minute here, as Concert heads back to Martinez. 30 seconds to go of minimum time here. Martinez, just hold on to it. Just hold on to it. Goes long, does Martinez, looking for Jadon Sancho and does find him brilliantly. Sancho! It's just wide from Jadon Sancho, but it is down at Newcastle's goal. And that is the final whistle. Newcastle United 1, Aston Villa 2. We do indeed get revenge for the Carabao Cup being defeated by Newcastle. And we are through into the quarter-final of the FA Cup. And that episode will be coming very soon. But attention now does turn to the Europa League round of 16. And that will be out tonight at 9 PM. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget, and you are excited for the round of 16 of the Europa League, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below what you want to see from me in the future when the Liverpool save has been finished. Don't forget to check out my Twitter. All my updates for when I'm live, when my scheduling is, when my videos are going up, will always be on there. Don't forget to check out my Twitch as well. I stream pretty much daily and will be streaming tonight at around 7 PM. So if you're watching this on the day that it goes up, then don't forget to be there. And like I said before, subscribe, turn notifications on so you don't miss an upload. And I'll see you later today for the Europa League. Peace.